The space station hung silently in orbit around the pale blue star, a massive structure of metal and glass that seemed to float like a jewel among the void. Its corridors buzzed with life. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved briskly, some speaking in rapid clicks, others in melodic tones, while human technicians navigated the unfamiliar hallways with cautious determination. The station was meant to be a hub of trade and knowledge, a place where species from across the galaxy could meet. Yet, for all its grandeur, it also had the quiet hum of secrets, corridors that led to rooms few were allowed to enter, and devices older than any living being aboard. Ethan adjusted the small toolkit at his side and rubbed the back of his neck. He had been on this station for nearly a year now, and while he had learned much about the aliens and their technologies, there were still moments when he felt completely out of place. He was human, and humans were rarely taken seriously by most other species. Yet his persistence, his curiosity, and a stubborn streak of bravery often left others surprised. Today, though, he was just trying to complete his routine maintenance checks on the station's auxiliary control systems. From the corner of his eye, he noticed a flash of color dart across the room. Liara, the young alien woman known for her playful, sometimes reckless, nature, had entered the control hub. Her bright, violet-hued eyes sparkled with mischief. She was small in stature compared to most aliens on the station, her frame lithe and graceful, and she had a habit of using her appearance and charm to get what she wanted. Today, however, her intentions were far less serious. Ethan, completely absorbed in recalibrating the sensors, didn't notice her until she plopped down in the chair next to him. "Oh, hello," he said, startled. His hands froze mid-adjustment. Liara leaned close, resting her elbow on the console. "Hey, human," she said, her tone dripping with amusement. "I thought you might need some company." Ethan blinked, unsure how to respond. Liara's kind of humor always made him nervous. He had learned early not to underestimate her, but he also hadn't expected her to casually sit beside him in his workspace for no reason at all. I'm just doing a standard check," Ethan stammered, trying to focus back on the sensors. Nothing that needs supervision." Liara's lips curved into a sly smile. "Oh, I know. I just thought I'd sit here and see what kind of trouble you can cause." She wiggled her fingers in the air above the console as if daring him to press the wrong button. Ethan glanced at the console. To him, it was just a series of blinking lights and sliders. But what neither of them knew was that this particular panel was linked to one of the oldest systems on the station, a system no one had used in decades. It was a relic from the builders of the station, an ancient civilization whose technology even the aliens had only partially understood. That was why Liara's playful prank was more dangerous than she realized. I really don't think," Ethan began, but before he could finish, Liara's hand brushed across the controls. At first, nothing happened. Then a low hum filled the room, vibrating through the metal floor. Lights on the console began to flicker erratically. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. "What did you do?" he asked, panic rising. Liara's eyes widened as she realized her playful nudge had triggered something far beyond a harmless prank. I didn't mean to," she said, but even as she spoke, the console lights intensified, projecting beams of pale blue energy across the walls. The room suddenly felt alive. The hum turned into a pulse, steady and rhythmic, as if the station itself was awakening. Ethan grabbed the edge of the console, feeling the vibrations travel up his arms. "We need to stop it," he shouted, but Liara couldn't move. The console had activated a sequence she didn't understand. Panels along the wall slid open, revealing machinery covered in dust, wires snaking like metallic vines. A strange energy field began to swirl in the center of the room, forming a shimmering, translucent globe. Inside it, abstract shapes twisted and turned, almost as if they were alive. Ethan swallowed hard. This isn't just a system error, this is something else. Liara's playful demeanor vanished, replaced by fear. She had seen many advanced devices during her time on the station, but none had behaved like this. What is it?" she whispered. "I don't know," Ethan admitted. He had a general understanding of station technology, but this was beyond anything in the manuals. "But it's reacting to something. Maybe us?" The energy globe pulsed again, brighter this time, casting strange shadows on the walls. Holographic projections appeared floating midair. Star maps, alien script, and fleeting images of alien worlds. Ethan realized with growing horror that the device was not just powered, it was communicating. Somehow, it was responding to them. Liara took a cautious step back. Maybe it's some kind of memory system, she guessed, her voice trembling. "Something left behind by the builders of this station," Ethan nodded slowly. "Could be, but if that's true, it could contain dangerous knowledge, or energy, or—" His words trailed off as the globe suddenly flared, sending a shockwave that knocked both of them off their feet. Alarm sirens blared across the station. Red lights flashed, warning others of the anomaly. Outside the control hub, other aliens paused in their work, staring at the glowing energy that had begun to seep through the station's walls like liquid light. Ethan scrambled to his feet, trying to understand the controls. "We have to stabilize it. Do you see any shut-off switches?" Liara shook her head. "I know, everything here looks like old tech, really old. Maybe even older than the station itself." Her violet eyes glimmered with both fear and awe. "We might not be able to stop it." The energy globe pulsed faster, and a strange sound filled the air, like a chorus of whispers, layered over each other in tones that made their teeth ache. Ethan covered his ears instinctively, while Liara crouched beside him, trying to keep herself steady. Then a sudden thought struck Ethan. It's responding to our actions, not just the console us, our presence maybe, our DNA, our whatever humans and aliens have that's unique. Liara tilted her head. "You mean it recognizes us?" Ethan nodded grimly. "I think so. And if it's ancient tech, it might not know how to handle us being here. That could be dangerous." They tried to step back, but the energy globe shifted, forming a sort of gateway in the center of the room. Its surface shimmered like liquid glass, revealing glimpses of alien landscapes, strange skies, and colossal structures that defied imagination. Liara's breath caught. Is that another world?" she whispered. "I don't know," Ethan admitted. His mind raced. "It could be a projection, or it could be real. And if it's real, we might be able to go there." The hum of the device grew louder, almost like a heartbeat. Ethan reached out instinctively, his fingers brushing the surface of the energy globe. It felt warm, alive, and pulsing with an intelligence he couldn't comprehend. Liara froze. "Don't touch it," she warned. "We don't know what it will do." But it was too late. The globe responded instantly to Ethan's touch, flaring brighter than before. A ripple of energy surged through the room, and suddenly both of them were enveloped in light. Their vision blurred and the control hub disappeared around them. For a moment, they felt weightless, as if floating in the void between stars. And then just as suddenly they were back, though not entirely. The room looked the same, yet different. The walls seemed to hum, and faint images of alien beings flickered across the surfaces, watching them. The energy globe still floated in the center, pulsing, but now it seemed expectant. Ethan and Liara exchanged a tense glance. "We just activated something," Ethan said quietly. Liara nodded, her playful prank long forgotten. "Something alive." The air around them crackled with energy. Both of them realized that the station, the universe outside, and even themselves had changed in some way. What started as a simple joke, sitting beside a human to annoy him, had unleashed something beyond their comprehension. Ethan took a deep breath, his mind racing with questions. "We need to understand it, before anyone else tries to stop it, or before it stops us." Liara's violet eyes met his. For the first time, she saw not just a human clumsy and weak, but someone brave, someone capable of thinking clearly when chaos erupted. Then, let's figure it out, together. And with that, the two unlikely companions faced the glowing, pulsing device, unsure what it would demand of them next, or what wild journey it had just begun. Little did they know, their actions had already set in motion a chain of events that would test their courage, intelligence, and humanity like never before. The galaxy outside waited, vast and unknowable, and for the first time both Ethan and Liara felt the thrilling, terrifying weight of true adventure. The hum of the device grew louder, and for a moment it almost sounded like a laugh, an ancient, knowing, and playful laugh, echoing through the station as if acknowledging the chaos its activation had caused. And so, what started as a prank became the first step into something much larger than either of them could imagine. The energy globe pulsed steadily, bathing the control hub in waves of pale blue light. Ethan and Liara stood a few steps back, both uncertain, both awed, and both deeply aware that whatever they had activated was far from ordinary. The humming vibrations traveled through the metal floor into their bones, almost as if the station itself were alive and breathing around them. Ethan's fingers hovered over the console, his mind racing to make sense of the alien symbols projected in midair. Lines of script swirled and shifted, forming patterns that looked like star maps at first glance, but soon revealed something far more complex: sequences, instructions, and diagrams of unknown machinery. His human intuition told him that the device was trying to communicate. But how could he interpret something older than any human civilization? Liara stepped closer to the globe, mesmerized. Her violet eyes reflected the swirling lights, and for the first time she didn't playfully tease or hide behind sarcasm. This was serious. The device responded to her presence. She could feel it, almost like it recognized the alien energy in her body. It's showing us things," she murmured. "I've never seen technology like this, not even in the archives." Ethan glanced at her. "It's alive in some way. Or at least aware. I don't think it's just a machine. It reacts to us." Before Liara could respond, the holographic projections intensified. Star maps expanded into full landscapes, cities made of crystal towers, massive spires piercing the skies of alien planets, and creatures unlike anything Ethan had ever imagined. Each scene flickered for a few seconds and then vanished, replaced by another, like memories being played back to them. He swallowed hard. These aren't just images, it's showing us history, culture, technology, and maybe warnings." Liara's ears twitched. "Warnings? What do you mean?" Ethan pointed at a scene where a colossal structure collapsed in on itself, sending waves of energy across the alien city. "Something caused destruction before. Maybe that's what the device wants us to see. Or maybe it's testing us, seeing how we react." The humming reached a crescendo, and suddenly the globe expanded, almost doubling in size. The projections became three-dimensional, hovering around them. Ethan instinctively raised his hands, trying to interact with the floating symbols. When his fingers brushed the holographic shapes, they reacted, moving, twisting, forming new patterns. The device wasn't just showing them history, it wanted participation. Liara's tail lashed behind her nervously. "Be careful, we don't know what it can do." But Ethan couldn't stop. His curiosity had always driven him forward, even when danger loomed. Slowly, he began to touch the sequences, rearranging the symbols. The device pulsed brighter with each correct combination, almost approving of his actions. Liara leaned closer, watching. You really think humans can solve this? Even the aliens didn't." Ethan smiled faintly, a mixture of nervousness and determination. "Maybe that's why we're here. Sometimes being human means figuring things out without knowing the rules first." The globe shimmered and a new projection appeared, an alien being, translucent, glowing, hovering midair. It had multiple arms, delicate features, and eyes that seemed to look directly at them, though it had no mouth. A voice echoed in their minds, not words but feelings, calm, intelligent, and strangely warm. "You are different, both of you. Your presence awakens the archive." Liara gasped, stepping back. It spoke. "Did you hear that?" Ethan nodded. "I did, somehow, not with ears. With thoughts." His heart raced. "This isn't just a machine, it's a consciousness, and it's alive." The holographic being raised its multiple hands, projecting a new image. A planet shrouded in energy storms, colossal structures collapsing under immense pressure, and a single glowing tower at the center, untouched, standing tall. The feeling it transmitted was urgent warning, yet not hostile. Liara tilted her head. "It's showing us a disaster. Something happened before, and this tower survived." Ethan stepped closer. "Maybe it's telling us how to prevent it or understand it. If this is knowledge left behind, it's up to us to interpret it. Humans, aliens together." Suddenly, the station shuddered. Alarms blared again, louder this time. Panels sparked and gravity fluctuated in the room, causing loose tools and small objects to float. Ethan barely caught a falling wrench, while Liara clutched the edge of a console to avoid being lifted off the floor. "We need to stabilize it," Ethan shouted over the alarms. "If this energy spreads, the station could." His words were cut off as the globe pulsed violently, sending a shockwave through the entire hub. Liara's voice trembled. I think it's reacting to both of us now. Our combined presence. Maybe it's trying to sync with us." Ethan took a deep breath, focusing. He realized the device didn't just respond to individual species, it reacted to cooperation. Human logic and alien intuition together might be the key. Slowly, he gestured to Liara. "Work with me. We can figure this out together." Liara nodded, trust replacing fear. She mirrored his movements, touching the holographic symbols in tandem with him. Slowly, the violent pulses softened. The projections became stable, forming a cohesive display of alien architecture, energy flows, and technological schematics. The glowing being shifted, guiding them through the sequences. Ethan realized they were learning from it as much as it was learning from them. Each combination they solved illuminated new pathways, revealing the device's true purpose: a repository of knowledge, technology, and the history of an ancient civilization, designed to awaken only when two species worked in unison. Liara's eyes sparkled with wonder. "I've never seen this, not even in the archives. This civilization, it's incredible, and it trusted us, humans and aliens, to access it." Ethan smiled, pride swelling in his chest. "Maybe that's why humans are underestimated. We figure things out when we don't have all the answers." As they continued working, the station's communication systems flickered. Alien security teams were converging on the control hub, responding to the alarm. Liara realized the longer they stayed, the more danger they faced, not from the device, but from those who would shut it down without understanding it. "We have to protect it," she whispered urgently. "If they destroy it, all this knowledge could be lost forever." Ethan nodded. "Then we defend it, but first we need to understand it fully. Maybe it can help us." The globe pulsed again, forming a corridor of light leading into the station itself. Ethan and Liara glanced at each other. "Do we follow it?" Liara asked. Ethan took a steadying breath. "We don't have a choice. Whatever this is, it's guiding us, and we need to know where it leads before anyone else interferes." Together, they stepped into the corridor of light. The moment they did, a strange sensation washed over them, a feeling of weightlessness, of being stretched across time and space. The walls of the station melted away, replaced by a tunnel of pure energy, filled with flashes of stars, alien worlds, and glimpses of civilizations long gone. Liara gripped Ethan's arm. I feel like we're moving through time itself." Ethan nodded, gripping her hand in return. "Maybe we are, or maybe it's showing us everything at once. We have to trust it and trust each other." The journey through the corridor felt endless yet instantaneous. They saw visions of alien leaders, humans exploring space, and machines that defied logic. Each vision conveyed information, lessons, and warnings. Ethan realized the device was preparing them, testing their ability to understand and act responsibly. Finally, the corridor ended abruptly. They found themselves in a massive chamber filled with crystalline structures, glowing softly with energy. In the center stood a single pedestal, pulsing with a vibrant light. The holographic being appeared again, hovering above the pedestal, projecting an image of the ancient civilization's leaders. Liara whispered, awestruck, This must be the heart of the archive, all the knowledge you concentrated here." Ethan stepped closer, heart pounding. "And we're the first to reach it, humans and aliens together." The pedestal's light shifted, forming a protective shield. Symbols floated around them, scanning and analyzing both Ethan and Liara. The holographic being transmitted a final thought. Only those who understand cooperation, courage, and balance may wield this knowledge. Protect it, learn from it, and the universe will reveal its secrets. Liara's tail flicked nervously. "It's asking us to guard it, but how?" Ethan looked at the glowing pedestal, then at Liara. "We don't just guard it, we learn, we adapt, and we prove that humans and aliens can face the unknown together. That's what it wants." A sudden alarm echoed from the outer station corridors. Security teams were moments away. Liara's ears twitched. "We don't have much time. If they reach this chamber," Ethan's gaze hardened. "Then we fight, but carefully. We can't let them destroy it, not after everything we've seen." As the energy pedestal pulsed with anticipation, Ethan and Liara prepared themselves. Whatever came next, they knew they were no longer just a human and an alien on a station. They were guardians of ancient knowledge, chosen not by chance, but by courage, intelligence, and the bond they had formed in the face of chaos. And somewhere in the flickering lights of the chamber, the holographic being watched, silently judging, silently guiding, and silently acknowledging that the most unlikely of partnerships might just change the fate of worlds. The adventure was far from over. The next step would test them not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and morally. They had activated something wild, something alive, and now it was up to them to navigate the storm of knowledge, power, and responsibility it had unleashed. Ethan glanced at Liara. "Ready." Liara's eyes sparkled, not with mischief this time, but with determination. "As ready as I'll ever be." Together, they stepped forward into the unknown, unaware of the dangers, wonders, and revelations that awaited them. But one thing was certain. Their journey had just begun, and the universe would never see humans and aliens the same way again. The chamber hummed with energy, a soft, steady pulse that seemed to echo through the very bones of Ethan and Liara. They stood before the glowing pedestal, feeling the weight of the responsibility placed on them. The ancient device had shown them wonders beyond imagination, and yet the sense of urgency remained. Somewhere beyond the crystalline walls, the station's security teams were closing in, and the knowledge contained here was far too valuable to be left unguarded. Ethan stepped closer to the pedestal, his hands hovering above the pulsing light. He could feel its energy reacting to his presence, almost like it was measuring his intent. "We need to understand it," he said quietly. "Not just protect it, but know what it can do. That's the only way to keep it safe." Liara nodded, her violet eyes fixed on the floating symbols surrounding the pedestal. "And we have to do it fast. Those security teams aren't going to wait for us to figure things out." The holographic being appeared again, hovering gracefully above the pedestal. Its translucent form shimmered as it projected images of the ancient civilization, leaders, engineers, warriors, and scholars. Each image seemed to convey a message, not with words but with feeling, cooperation, courage, intelligence, and the willingness to face the unknown. Ethan took a deep breath. "It's not just a device, it's a test, and I think we're part of it. The knowledge, it's only meant for those who prove they can handle it." Liara's tail flicked nervously. "A test with the fate of the station at stake." And maybe more than that. She glanced at the glowing portal-like device which pulsed rhythmically as if urging them forward. "We can't fail." Ethan nodded, determination settling in his chest. "We won't. Together we figure this out, and we protect it." He reached out, carefully tracing his fingers over the holographic symbols projected in the air. Each touch caused the symbols to rearrange, forming patterns that matched sequences he instinctively recognized. Liara mirrored his movements, her alien intuition guiding her to adjust the symbols in ways Ethan could not anticipate. Together, they became a seamless team, human logic and alien instinct working in perfect harmony. The pedestal responded to their cooperation, the pulsing light growing steadier, warmer, almost like a heartbeat. Images of advanced technologies, star maps, and ancient structures flowed around them. Ethan realized that the device wasn't just storing knowledge, it was teaching them how to use it responsibly. Every interaction, every correct combination, unlocked more of the archive. Suddenly, the chamber shook violently. Sparks flew from the crystalline structures, and fragments of the floor floated briefly before gravity snapped them back. The security teams had reached the outer doors, and their scanners were detecting the energy surge. Liara's ears flattened against her head in alarm. "We don't have much time," she said urgently. "They're going to force their way in." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Then we hold them off. We can't let them destroy this, not after everything it's shown us." Liara glanced at him, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and admiration. "You really think humans can handle this?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Humans figure things out, sometimes in ways no one expects. Watch." He tapped into the holographic sequences, creating projections of defensive structures, energy shields, and countermeasures. The device responded instantly, forming tangible barriers within the chamber, walls of energy that shimmered and bent the light around them. Liara gasped as she realized the device was allowing them to manipulate its power, but only because it trusted their judgment. The outer doors began to buckle under the force of the approaching security teams. Ethan and Liara prepared themselves, standing side by side, their combined courage giving them strength. When the doors finally gave way, a group of heavily armed aliens stepped in, their weapons raised. Ethan raised a hand. "Stop!" he shouted, his voice amplified by the energy in the chamber. "You don't understand what this is. If you destroy it, you destroy knowledge that belongs to everyone." The aliens hesitated, scanning the room. The energy barriers shimmered, forming between them and the intruders, preventing any approach. The holographic being hovered above, projecting images of the consequences of misuse, collapsed cities, lost civilizations, entire worlds wiped out by ignorance or greed. Liara stepped forward, her voice firm and clear. "This is not just a machine. It's alive in its own way. It responds to courage, intelligence, and cooperation. It chose us to protect it. You can't just take it by force." The leader of the security team growled, uncertain. He had been trained to act quickly, decisively, and ruthlessly. Yet something about the room, the glowing pedestal, the pulse of energy, and the presence of Ethan and Liara, made him pause. He glanced at his team, seeing the uncertainty mirrored in their expressions. Ethan saw the moment of hesitation and seized it. "Look at it," he shouted, gesturing toward the holographic projections. "See what it can do. This knowledge can help everyone if we work together. Destroying it won't make anyone stronger. It will only cause loss and suffering." Slowly, the leader lowered his weapon. His eyes lingered on the pedestal, the light reflecting in his expression. Finally, he spoke, his voice cautious. "If what you say is true, then we must protect it, but we need guidance. We can't just experiment with it." Liara nodded. "We can guide you. We can all learn from it, but you must trust us." The leader hesitated, then finally nodded. "We will follow your lead for now." With the immediate threat neutralized, Ethan and Liara turned back to the pedestal. The holographic being's light pulsed gently, almost like a sigh of relief. It projected new images, blueprints, energy matrices, and advanced devices, each one a marvel of engineering and science. Ethan's mind raced, absorbing the information, understanding patterns that no human had ever comprehended before. Liara worked alongside him, translating alien sequences into forms she could understand. Together, they discovered applications for energy generation, communication, propulsion, and defense, technologies that could transform entire civilizations. Yet, the device also showed them warnings, how misuse, arrogance, or greed could destroy worlds. Ethan paused, looking at Liara. It's testing us even now, not just to give knowledge but to see if we're responsible enough to use it. Liara nodded. We have to prove ourselves worthy, not for power but for understanding. That's why it chose us. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. They worked tirelessly, unlocking the sequences, stabilizing the device, and documenting what they could. By the time the station's natural lights dimmed to signal the end of the day, Ethan and Liara had gained an unprecedented understanding of the ancient archive. Finally, the pedestal's light shifted, signaling completion. The holographic being projected a single image, a human hand and an alien hand, clasped together, glowing with energy. Its message was clear: cooperation, courage, and trust were the keys to unlocking the universe's greatest secrets. Liara turned to Ethan, a smile breaking through her exhaustion. We did it, we actually did it. Ethan smiled back, feeling a rare sense of pride. Humans aren't just lucky or reckless. We're capable, we adapt, we learn, and sometimes we surprise even ourselves. The energy pedestal dimmed to a soft glow, no longer pulsing wildly. The chamber felt calm, alive with potential rather than chaos. Ethan and Liara knew they had changed. The station, the archive, and perhaps even the galaxy would never be the same. The security leader approached them cautiously. You two have done something incredible, he said. I don't know how to explain it, but I trust that what you've learned will be used wisely. Liara nodded. We'll make sure of it. Humans, aliens, we all have something to contribute. Together we can face the unknown. Ethan looked at the glowing archive one last time. And maybe the universe is ready to see humans differently now. Not just as fragile or naive, but as capable, brave, and willing to rise to the challenge. The leader smiled faintly. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it finally is. As they left the chamber, the glow of the pedestal faded behind them, leaving only the quiet hum of energy. The station had survived, the knowledge had been preserved, and two unlikely companions had proven that courage, intelligence, and cooperation could overcome even the most unpredictable and powerful forces. Liara looked at Ethan, her violet eyes reflecting admiration and warmth. You know, I never thought humans could handle something like this. Ethan chuckled softly. And I never thought I'd be trusted by an alien like you to save the station. Guess we both surprised each other. They walked through the corridors, side by side, ready to face whatever else the universe had in store. They knew the archive was only the beginning, a test, a gift, and a responsibility that would shape the future of countless worlds. And somewhere in the flickering light of the station, the holographic being observed silently, a faint sense of satisfaction echoing through its energy. It had chosen well. Humans and aliens working together had unlocked something extraordinary. And in that moment, the galaxy felt a little smaller, a little more connected, and a lot more hopeful. For Ethan and Liara, what began as a simple prank, sitting beside a human for fun, had transformed into an adventure that proved the enduring truth of the universe. Courage, ingenuity, and cooperation could surpass even the greatest of challenges, and humanity, often underestimated, had risen to meet the unknown with strength and wisdom. The light dimmed completely, leaving them in the quiet glow of the station. And for the first time, Ethan felt it deeply. Humans could stand among the stars, not as guests, but as equals, capable of facing the wild, the mysterious, and the impossible. Together, they stepped forward, ready to shape a new future, a future where humans could rise beyond expectation, leaving a mark across the galaxy that would be remembered for generations to come.